We shall continue the module 5. So the second session is again on that same topic, that is system compensation and state variable characteristics of linear system. In the previous classes we have discussed regarding what is meant by a compensation, what is a compensator, the different types of compensation, and what is meant by state equations and the matrix form of representing the state equations. In this module, in the session, we will discuss about different terms called as controllability and observability. So what is meant by controllability? A system is said to be controllable if any initial state can be transferred to any desired state in a finite length of time by some control action. A system is controllable if any initial state can be transferred to any desired state in a finite length of time. Then we call that the system is controllable. We call the system as completely observable if and only if there exists a finite time t such that the initial state is, that is x0 or x of 0, can be determined from the observation history y of t given the control, that is the input signal will be varying from, that is u of t is varying from 0 to t, capital T. Then we call that the system is observable. This controllability and observability concepts are explained by two different tests. One is called as Kalman's test and the other one is called as Gilbert's test. First of all, we shall discuss about what is meant by Kalman's test of controllability. This concept explains about the controllability of the determinant. So in this case, the system is completely controllable if the determinant of the controllability matrix is non-zero. So always the determinant of the controllability matrix is represented as Kc, where C indicates it is controllable or not. If it is non-zero, that means the value of the determinant Kc, if it is non-zero, that means more other than 0, then the system is called as completely controllable. So there is a system, for example, the system is given like this. For the system, x dot is equal to a x of t plus b u of t. As we discussed in our previous classes, a and b are the matrix and these are the x of t and u of t are the input matrices. So for this system, we should determine whether the system is completely controllable or not. So how do we examine the controllability? So controllability is examined by this algebraic condition. That means we are supposed to find out the rank of the matrix. Based upon the rank of the matrix, we are trying to judge the controllability. The matrix A is an n by n matrix. The equation whatever we discussed just now, see here this equation, x is equal to a into x of t plus b into u of t. These a and b are, a is a n by n matrix and b is a n by 1 matrix. That means n rows and 1 column. For multi-input systems, B can be a matrix of n rows and m columns, where m will be the number of inputs. For single input, single output system, the controllability matrix Kc will be described in terms of A and B, wherein the controllability matrix Kc is given as B, okay, A is to AB is to A square B is to A cube B, so on up to A to the power of n minus 1 B. This is a n by n matrix. Using this matrix, we can judge the controllability matrix Kc. Now, there is another test called as Kalman's test of observability. What does this test says? The single input linear system is observable if and only if the determinant of the n by n observability matrix, that is Ko, is non-zero. It is non-zero. That means what? If the determinant of that matrix, which is of order n by 1, if it is non-zero, then we call that the system is observable. So for example, the similar way we consider a system as we considered previously, x dot is equal to ax of t plus bu of t, and there is one more equation given for the system, that is y is equal to c into x. So what is a and b here? Here A is an n by n matrix as in the previous case, and B is also a n by 1 matrix, and here y is equal to cx. This c is also a 1 into n row column. Okay, so it is row into column, 1 row and n column row vector, and here x is a n by 1 column vector. Using this system matrix, we have to find out the observability Ko. So the observability matrix Ko is given as Ct is to Ca transpose. So here Ct indicates the transpose of matrix C, then transpose of C into A, Ca transpose, then Ca square transpose, Ca cube transpose, so on. So this matrix, observability matrix, will be a n by n matrix. The second type of test is called as Gilbert's test of controllability and observability. This system is making use of another set of equations. Here we consider a multivariable system. Yes, let S be a multivariable system which is represented by equations. Set of equations are x dot is equal to a into x of t plus b into u of t, and y is equal to cx. Here, using these two equations, we are supposed to find out the controllability and observability of the matrix. Here, what does a, b and c represents? A is a constant and it is the nth order differential transition matrix. B is a constant and it is an input matrix. C is a constant and it is an output matrix. B and C are input and output matrix. A is a nth order differential transition matrix. The roots, suppose we get a matrix, we have to find out the roots of that matrix. So those characteristic roots are represented as lambda I, where I varies from 1 to n. So the roots of that matrix A are assumed to be distinct. Based upon that, we are further supposed to calculate the value of rho. So let us consider that the rho will be a nth order non-singular matrix which will diagonalize the A. After finding out the characteristic roots, we get a matrix of this form. So that is represented as rho inverse into A into rho, which is represented as A is equal to this form. So we may have the diagonal elements varying from lambda 1, lambda 2, so on up to lambda n, and these elements may be either 0 or non-zero elements apart from the diagonal. Using this matrix, we have to find out the observability and controllability. Let the normal coordinates be the components of the n-dimensional state vector V. Then x is equal to what? Rho into V. So this system S is represented as V dot, which is equal to A into V plus beta into U. Here y is equals to y dot or y into v plus du. So this concept can be better explained with the help of the problems. This matrix, that is B, is nothing but it is the inverse of row vector and into B. The normal form input matrix is called as B, and this terms y is equal to C into row, and which is the normal form of the output matrix. Based upon this output matrix, we can justify the controllability and observability. If a system is controllable, then the beta should have no rows. It should not have any rows which are 0. There should not be any row which are having all the elements are 0. And if the system is to be called as observable, then that matrix Y should have no columns which will bear the 0. So if the rows, none of the rows are having zeros, okay, then it is called as controllable. Similarly, if none of the columns are 0, then it is called as observable. With this aspect, we will take some numerical examples and discuss how to judge the controllability and observability. Here is a numerical. It's given as like this. Determine the controllability of the control system with state equation. Here are the set of equations given. So you have to determine the controllability of the control system with the state equations given as below by Gilbert's test. So we will discuss how to apply Gilbert's test to solve this problem. The solution goes like this. In the given problem, we can see that x of t is what? X dot 1, x dot 2, x dot 3. So this is called as x of t. This matrix is called as A, where A is equal to this matrix, and this matrix is called as B matrix. Okay. Now, according to Gilbert's test, the characteristic equation is given as determinant of A minus lambda I. The procedure to solve by Gilbert's test is given by determinant of A minus lambda I is equal to 0. Now, we have already the equation matrix A, this one, and we have I is called as a identity matrix. So we will find the determinant of A minus lambda I. So identity matrix is multiplied by lambda, the product of which is subtracted from the matrix A. So therefore, this is 0. First element is 0 minus lambda is taken for identity matrix, so for the diagonal elements. So the remaining are kept as it is. So 0 is 1 first element minus lambda into I. The identity matrix has 1. So minus lambda into 1 is lambda. So therefore 0 minus lambda is minus lambda. Similarly, for the second element also we have minus lambda, and for the third element in the diagonal, so it is minus 6 because A matrix is having minus 6 minus lambda into 1. So minus 6 minus lambda. The remaining elements are 1, 0, so 1, 0, and this one is 0 and 1. So as I have placed accordingly, minus 6 minus 11. So this is how the determinant A minus lambda I is formed. Now we have to find out the value of this determinant. When we find out the value of this determinant, we get a cubic order equation, and the roots of this equation are found out by trial and error method. So when lambda 1 is minus 1, then the equation becomes 0. When lambda 2 is minus 2, the equation becomes 0. When lambda 3 is minus 3, it becomes 0. So since it is a cubic order equation, we require 3 values, and those 3 values for which the equation becomes 0 is called as the eigen values. Now, the model matrix M is written as, 1, 1, 1, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 1 square, lambda 2 square and lambda 3 square. So now using this form, we will substitute the remaining values. So the first row is 1, 1 and 1. Values of lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3 are minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. Lambda 1 square, that means this square is 1, square of this one is 4, square of this is 9. The inverse of this matrix have to be written here. So we have to find out the inverse of this matrix. So how to find out this inverse of this matrix? Based upon the values of the model matrix, the matrix is M inverse obtained as below. For this matrix, we are going to multiply the B matrix, as I shall just show. Go back to my previous slide. So our B matrix has to be taken into consideration, and then we have to multiply this model matrix with the B matrix. So when we multiply each and every row with the first element, the resulting matrix will be a single column vector. Okay, so this matrix we get, so that is the resulting matrix will be having these elements, 1 by 2, that is 0.5, minus 1 and 0.5. So this form of getting the solution for the system is called as the canonical form. So therefore the state equation is in the form of a canonical form. Now we have to find out whether the system is controllable or not. So for that we have to take the equations. So this matrix is for the matrix wherein the diagonal elements are lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3. So that is minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. Using this identity matrix, substituting the values of the lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3, we find the value of V vector. So here this vector, this matrix is multiplied the vector by and plus the matrix B, that is we obtained in the previous step. When we add these elements, the resulting elements we have to check. Since in this matrix none of the elements of the B are 0. So which is the matrix? B matrix. This is the B matrix. Using, we can observe in this B matrix that all the elements are non-zero elements. None of the elements are 0. All are non-zero elements. So therefore the system is completely controllable. As discussed in our theory section, we discussed that if KC, or if the system is having any 0 elements, then the system is called as, it is not a controllable one. So here all the elements of the B are non-zero, and therefore the system is called as completely controllable. This is the solution of the problem. In the similar way, we will take another problem. There is a problem given like this. Consider the state space representation given by this matrix. Okay, so here X is given by some matrix which is a 4 by 4 matrix, and there is one more matrix, and Y is given by some another set of matrices. We have to evaluate the observability of the system for the given system. So the solution goes like this. The composite matrix Q naught, or it is called as Q observable, is equal to. So we see that the matrix should be in this form, that is C matrix into CA. This one is C into CA. This is CA square. This is CA cube. When you take all these matrix and its transpose, based upon the elements present in that matrix, we have to judge about the observability of that system. First of all, we'll find out these matrices, that is CA, CA square, CAQ. We have already the C matrix. Here the C matrix is this one. So X is equal to A into X plus C into U. Y is equal to B into X or U into X. In some cases it is written as U into X. Now, based upon the C matrix, we are supposed to further proceed and find out the value of CA. So now this is your C matrix. So what is the C matrix? 1 0 0 0 and 0 0 1 0. X is equal to AX plus BU, Y is equal to CX. So C matrix is this one into A matrix is this one. Now, so I will get out what? The matrix CA. So CA is equal to matrix C into matrix A. This is C matrix, this is A matrix. Now, if I multiply each and every row with each and every column, then the resulting matrix will be this one, that is 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 1. So you need to solve this problem multiplying by the method of multiplication of matrices. We get the solution of CA as this one. Now, in order to find out CA square, we have to take this matrix, which is CA, multiply this matrix with again A, so it becomes what? CA into A, that is CA square. So this matrix is taken here, this one, and again A matrix is taken. Again by the same method, we get CA square matrix as this one. Similarly, CA cube is also find out. So for the CA cube, we take the CA square matrix, this one, and multiply the A matrix. So the resulting matrix will be called as CA cube. Now we have all the matrices, that is C, CA, CA square and CA cube. We will write them all together and then find its transpose. So this is that observable matrix. So this first two columns, first two rows, you can see here, it is the matrix CA. So that you can see here. Okay. Next CA square. So I have to write CA square. Then CA cube. I have to write all the vectors together. So you can see now what is a C. So just go back to the previous slide. So this is the C matrix 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 0. So that's what you have written. And the second matrix, the second two rows are the matrix C into A. The next two rows are for the matrix CA square, and the last two rows are for the matrix CA cube. So total altogether it is put in the form of a matrix. So how many rows we have? We have altogether 6 rows and 4 columns. It is a 6 by 4 matrix. Now, in this, just move back to the previous slide. In this figure, in this matrix, the first 4 rows are taken. So, and written here. So, this is what? The observability matrix. Now, using this matrix, we have to find out the rank of the matrix. So, if you observe here, none of the rows are completely 0. All the rows have either one a non-zero element. So, therefore, the rank of this matrix you have to find out. The rank of this matrix is how much? It is 4. And if you find out the value of this determinant, it is -1, which is not equals to 0. So, therefore, we can say that the system is completely observable. In this way, similar such problems can be solved if the state space equations are given. Now, moving to some of the multiple choice questions on the topics that we discussed. The first MCQ is, a system is said to be dash if it is possible to transfer the system state from an initial state to any desired state in finite interval of time. When do you call that the system is controllable or observable or cannot be determined or cannot be controllable and observable? So based upon the statement given, you have to check whether the system is called as a controllable one or observable one. So which of the terms given below will match or will be suitable to be placed in this blank? A system is said to be controllable if it is possible to transfer the system state from an initial state to any desired state in finite interval of time. So while explaining the terminologies of controllability and observability, the definition of controllability goes in this way. So the proper word that can be placed here is controllable. So therefore the key answer or the right answer for this question is the option A. Okay. Moving to the second multiple choice question. A system is said to be dash if every state can be completely identified by measurements of the outputs at the finite interval, at the finite time interval. So here, when do you call that the system is observable? Based upon the measurements of the outputs, based upon whether the resulting matrix is a 0 or a non-zero one. So for that, based upon the measurements of the outputs, we can judge whether the system is observable. So therefore, the right answer given out of the four options, that the first option is controllable, the second option is observable, the third option is cannot be determined, the fourth option is controllable and observable. So here, based upon the measurements of the outputs means it should be observable. So therefore the right answer is answer B. Moving to the third question, Kalman's test is for. Why do we make use of the Kalman's test? So while discussing the headings, we have discussed that Kalman's test is conducted for both observability as well as for controllability. So the options given are A is observability, B controllability, C optimality, and D is observability and controllability. So therefore Kalman's test is used for both observability and controllability. So therefore the right answer is option D. The fourth question is, there is an equation given here. So consider a system represented by state space equation x1 of t is equal to x2 of t. Some equation is given here. Using this system, you have to find out whether the system is controllable, uncontrollable, observable, unstable. So if a state space is represented like this, can we find out? No, you cannot find out. Why? Because you require some vectors A, B and C. So therefore you can say that the right answer among the four options given is uncontrollable. So consider a system which is represented by this equation. So then the system is called as uncontrollable. The right answer is option B. The last question of this session is, which of the following is not the correct reason to select the feedback compensation over cascaded one? So there are four options given here. No amplification is required as the energy transfer is from higher level to lower level. The second option is suitable devices are not available for compensation. The third one, it is economical, and the fourth one is provides greater stiffness against load disturbances. So there are four options given. So our question is, which of the following is not the correct reason to select the feedback compensation over cascaded one? So you have to select the improper answer. So here we can see that you are not going to select the feedback based upon whether amplification is required as energy transfer is from higher to level, or suitable devices are not required for compensation. Which of the following is not the correct reason? You are not going to select whether the feedback is a economical one or not economical one. we should select the feedback such that it will serve the required purpose, not based upon its economicality. So therefore the right answer for this one is, it is economical. You are not selecting the feedback system not for the reason that it is economical, but for the reason that it will serve its purpose. Okay, thank you.